Hey, Epic Gamer Boy here with a quad-barreled, fully automatic rocket launcher. That's awesome. Real quick before we start, if you enjoy this video or any video I make, drop a like, subscribe if you do, dislike if you don't, because it will give you a sense of pride and accomplishment. So yeah, about that, let's talk about the Grattler. Before we even look at stats, let's just go in and let's just drop this level 100, grab some heavy gunners, and let's just see. Because, you know, it's just a picture's worth 1,000 words. And if you consider a picture a frame, this video clip's about to be worth a whole lot of talking. I don't think I need 1,000 words for you now. I think just a few will work. Holy crap. This weapon is absolutely busted. Seriously, people call the Imperative Vandal better. I get it, the Imperative Vandal, maybe against a single enemy, is like slightly higher DPS. That's awesome. But what weapon in this game can you see a bunch of heavily armored, incredibly heavily armored units and just go, ah, no, you're no longer existing. And then just delete an army of them. All at once, by itself. This isn't even the best setup. Hold on a second. This is a setup I was messing around with. We have to aim. I wasn't aiming half of that. Let's take a look at this thing. I got a Riven for it. Grattler, it's the best gun in the game. Don't at me. It's just the best, okay? I got a Riven. Damage, crit chance, ammo maximum. If you want to know why those numbers are so low, it's because Riven scale off your base, like, mods. And for the most part, mods for arc guns are pretty low power, except for the elemental mods, which are crazy strong for some reason. So yeah. I mean, it's better base crit chance mod than pistols and shotguns, so that's okay. So yeah, this is the wrong build. Let's ditch you and put in hollowed bullets. And aside from that, it should work. I feel like this will work. I feel like this will be a good build. Let's grab some other builds real quick. Ammo maximum is important for arc guns because they rely off their ammo maximum for their duration on the ground. So the recharge is based off of it, and on top of that, their cooldown is based off the percentage used. So the more ammo you have, the less percentage you used. So, you know, that's convenient. Yeah, so we're going to build, this one's going to be an anti-infested. Shockingly, the infested are actually not very good versus crit, which I know it's just people don't believe you when you say that, but seriously, infested don't like crit. Anything will work here. We'll use magazine because infested are horde based, so that'll give us more horde ability, and then we'll make a gas one. Although I do have the mods for a disgusting, you know, let's make a magnetic one first, and then I'll make a gas, because I have the builds for a really nasty magnetic build. Check this out. Look at this. I'm gonna pack some mad magnetic damage. Almost 4,000 magnetic damage. We'll switch this out halfway through when we test it. We need crit. So, base weapon here. If we go, I want to get the freaking, yeah, base numbers. Good crit, good status, great damage, good fire rate. A little low supporting stats with the reload and the magazine, but they're all fine. Ammo economy is not great. Without the Riven, you're going to be running out of ammo a lot. Let's spawn these guys again with a normal build and test it out, and I'll talk about the good and the bad with this thing. The bad, it's got punch through, which sounds good, but it means you can't. Here, show you. We'll test. I'm going to show you this real quick. It means that when you're just unloading at a stationary enemy, the DPS is not. This is a magnetic build. Professionalism at work. When you're shooting at a stationary enemy, you could see right there, though, while I'm switching this around, that it was shooting right through his head, which is not the best thing for a rocket launcher to be doing. You want it to be exploding on them, because the explosion does more damage than the impact. They both do good damage. Also, that is an incredibly helpful ability. You can see the damage output it's not bad, but it could be way better. There's two ways to get around this. One, just fire into a group And the blast damage will do more than enough to kill them all. And you can see that's awesome. And then when the armor sharpens a bit, you just one tap them. 2! We are going to use operators, so if you haven't played the campaign, why are you watching videos on arc guns? You put them against a wall, so when they punch through, it hits the wall and explodes, and does lots of damage. See, that's a really nice time to kill. And the last one is a really creative one. Look, you knock them down with a blast, and then while they're lying down, you just hit them through the floor and do lots of damage. So, let's do that here. Show you right, standing up. See how fast it is? Because we're getting a ton of corrosive rocks, because we're hitting them and we're exploding them. These come through, and we're just gonna concentrate on these guys as they're knocked down. A little bit less clear, but I'm still good clear. But yeah, if you want to concentrate, just knock them down and then shoot their downed body, and you will do a astronomical amount of damage. And if you just want to hammer stuff with the gun, I don't blame you. I think the max range is around 100 meters, I want to say. Let's see. That is 50-something meters. And it goes past that. Maybe 75 meters. That's pretty good. Planes, you'll notice it not reaching every enemy, but for the most part, if you're in-game, it's not going to be an issue. Let's jump to that anti-infested build. This is a Vertex. That is a garbage weapon. Alrighty, why do I use Blast versus Infested? Infested have tons of damage types. Blast, as bad as it is versus armor, is not bad versus Infested. It's like, oh, I just don't care about you. It just doesn't care. It does good damage. And it CCs them. So, let's see what it does. We'll be relying purely on this thing's damage output. Although Infested armor, like the freaking Healy boys, Blast is better against. But this is going to be relying on this thing's base damage output. So we're going to unload these guys. Notice it handles them just fine. It's not bad. These are pretty durable Infested, so if it can handle these guys, you won't be having an issue with any of them. I think up to level 200, this thing shouldn't have an issue. And yeah, that's about it. If you were wondering, if you have the 60/60 mod and the 120 mod for heat, you would also just use heat, although I think I prefer Blast to heat versus Infested due to the CC for the, if they're like being healed or damage reduction by Ancients. Let's try this magnetic one versus some Corpus. Usually gas is better, and I'm going to stand by gas being better, but I do have all of the stuff to make a really mean magnetic build, so we're going to see how that works. I doubt it's going to be amazing, but it should be pretty good. Shields aren't really an issue. Blast also works perfectly fine versus Corpus. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. Its output is fine. I'm not going to say it's amazing because it's not, but it's more than enough. I'll show you gas in a second, though, because gas is quite a bit better. But this might be better versus the robots, so keep that in mind. Although robots do have alloy armor, which is good versus magnetic, so I already know. Let's grab a gas build real quick while we're doing that. I tend to drone on, so I'm trying to move a little bit faster this time. We're going to ditch EU, and we're going to replace Polar Magazine with Magma Chamber for that. And for some reason I put out the wrong mod. Then we take Contamination Case and put it on instead of that. Now we have gas. So we're going to mark target, more status chance, just more gas procs. This will be illuminating, and we really have some energy because you already know. You're not testing a gas build without some freaking Rhino buffs. Let's just try this right here. See what this do. Clearly not an issue. Steamrolls them. Obviously better DPS than the other one. Very, very nice. Yes. A gas build on a hybrid weapon cleans up Corpus. Color me shocked. Pretty decent procs and a good number of them. I wasn't aiming all the time there, but you get the picture. But let's show you that old that Rhino buff. Because if you use Rhino a lot, like I do, just run gas, because against Corpus, it'll do that. Which is nice. Are you not going to die? There we go. Thank you. Yeah. So if you're against Corpus, it'll do that. But the real kicker is what it will do to the Grenier. Look at this. This is going to be Just some special kind of stupid, okay? We're not even going to take elevation. We're just going to fire into them over here. And they're just going to... That's awesome. Gas is supposed to do that versus these guys. So if you run... if you run Rhino a lot, just you run this thing gas. Even without, it's good. Like it's fine without it. It's obviously not going to be as good as the corrosive build, but as far as like a primary gas build versus these guys, it's more than acceptable. I'll say it's not amazing, but it'll do the trick. It does enough damage that it will kill whatever you want to aim it at. So yeah, that's the Grappler. This thing's busted OP. And let me reinstate why if you didn't notice. If you don't run Rhino a lot and you can't use the overpowered gas combo, this is the only weapon that I've found, maybe the Fluctus, that you can just see a whole room, 50 of them in there, of level 100, 120, level 125, 150 corrupted armored units, and just spray it in there. Just say yeet, and they'll all die. It's the only thing. Like, this is the only weapon that you can just say, oh, everything over there is dead. And no matter what type of enemy it is, it's gonna die. You saw what it did to those groups. Those are groups of enemies. This is the only rocket launcher that has enough output to actually make corrosive work. And I think that is way undervalued. This thing isn't talked about when we talk about the best weapons. We go, oh, well, it's obviously the Tiburon. Well, yeah, what if you're fighting more than 3 enemies at a time? Suddenly the Tiburon seems like a really poopy weapon because it's got a tiny magazine and it has no ability to deal with groups. Oh, it's a Super Vandal. Well, yeah, the Super Vandal struggles versus alloy armor. This doesn't here. Before we go, because I only tested versus ferrite, and you know, oh, ferrite's worse versus corrosive. You got the corrosive build. Let's go try this thing versus bombards. In case you don't believe me, 100. This is Swordy. This is Kuva Floods. These are the cream de la cream of alloy armor. And just wrecks them. Slightly slower than it wrecks the ferrite armor. But to the point where it's like pointlessly slower. Like, oh, well, it does slightly less damage. Whoopie freaking do. Can still 1 mag 6 of them. What weapon in this game that has high DPS like this? I'm not talking single shot. Obviously, a Grimlock or, you know, a Lanka can 1 mag 6 of these guys. But what, like, actual standard weapon can 1 mag that many armored units? None. None can do it. So, yeah. Get yourself one of these. I'm gonna recommend you got like an Akshakara ribbon. It's worth like 1,000 plat. Sell that bad boy. Buy yourself. Well, I mean this thing's buyable from the market, but just get yourself one of these. Get yourself a ribbon floor. Get yourself a booster. Roll it a few times. Buy yourself all of the mods for arch guns, and you'll enjoy yourself so much more with this. This is infinitely better than any Akshakara. Infinitely better, and way cooler. And you don't have to sacrifice having a secondary. You can still have an Akshakara just without a ribbon. So yeah, that's about it. Deuces. Goodbye.